up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tapped In. This time, we're doing Tapped In from home online with everything going on. And I got my main man, Jay Sanon, in the building. Sanon, not say none.
That's right. That's right. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you coming on, hopping on here with me, dog.
Blessings, man. I'm honored to be here.
So getting into it, I for the people who may not know who Jay Sanon is, because I kind of found out about you a couple years ago. Give the people a little bit about yourself.
Man, I am a rapper, producer, songwriter from the north side of Miami, man. Fell in love with hip hop around 2003, right around the age like 11. Just flirted with the idea, never really took it seriously up until a couple of years ago. 2017 had what they call like a quarter life crisis. Didn't really know what I wanted to do out of life. I was kind of like in school for a major that I wasn't really interested in anymore. So I really just, tapped in, prayed about it. And in so many events, God calls me to, become a rapper. And man, simply put, man, I make music, relatable music for the soul. I try to make music that's impactful. My music is it's transparent, it's vulnerable, but it's not vulnerable for the sake of just being vulnerable. It has the mission of just reaching the listener and connecting with the listener to ultimately introduce them to the comfort that is Jesus Christ. And that's what I've been doing. I put out my debut album, Matters of the Heart, back in March last year, 2019.
Yeah, we're gonna
pretty
talk about
well.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. And yeah, man, still putting out music on my own record label, Soul District Entertainment. And yeah, bro, I'm just a man of the people, makes music for the people.
And that's what it's about. Like when it comes to like independent artists these days, like everybody, you need to own your own masters, but not only own your own masters, but like also like have your own record label. Like it's so important.
True.
So
yeah, definitely important.
So with that, how are you dealing with things going on with this coronavirus situation? I've talked about them like my other videos. I've talked about how I got furloughed from my job, so I got put on unpaid leave since March 20 something or whatever. And I've been on unpaid leave for the last couple of months, and it's really hit the creative industry really, really hard. So I wanted to hear just from like the artist's mouth, like how are you dealing with things surrounding this thing?
Yeah. First of all, man, I feel for you in that job, man. I actually got let go of my job as well, due to some other stuff. But I mean, for me, I think everybody, especially in the creativity bracket, I feel like it's definitely hitting us hard. A bigger artist, they can't tour, and that's like 80 if not 70% of like revenue that comes from like artists. And like I'm pretty sure other artists as well, but I feel like in times like this, man, it just forces us to pivot, what I'm saying? So I think we as a culture, we definitely need to focus on having multiple streams of income. So if our job happens to let us go and we get furloughed or we get laid off or we get fired, we still have like 9 or 5 other streams that we can eat off of, man. So I feel like, man, me personally, it's forced me to like stretch my creativity in other ways. Like, I started, freelance graphic designing, doing cover art for people. And, I'm getting into like social media and like digital marketing heavy, so.
Yeah, you and Risha need to link that up. Shout out Risha.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the boss, man. But yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's horrible times, man. I'm not gonna lie, but man, it's times like these, man. Like it forces us to pivot and grow and like stretch our creativity in other ways. You feel me?
Yeah. So, what's like the greatest lesson has the downtime kind of taught you? Like having time to think. What's the greatest lesson you learned from all this going on?
God is a provider. God
Facts.
is a provider, bro.
Facts.
When I tell you, I haven't been. Last paycheck I got was probably like in April, bro. And can I tell you, bro, from April till I don't know when you're gonna drop this, but up until the time of this recording, I have not missed a single meal. I have not missed a single a bill or
Right.
meal.
Praise God.
Like we still in the house, we're still able to pay rent. And man, God has just been providing in so many ways that I never even expected. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I could tell you stories, bro, but like that's one thing I've been learning, man, is that, God is a provider, and that, when hard times come, he's our present help. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's really
That's
what
why
I've
I
been
learned
learning.
that. I learned that lesson early last year. Like so a little bit of background about myself. I graduated college 2015,
Mm-hmm.
undergrad that is, and then I went back to get my MBA like 2016. But from the time I graduated college 2015 to about July of last year, I was working part-time jobs. Like I had 2 part-time jobs and really just 1 part-time job for 2.5 years and making $200 a week. As a 23, 24, 25-year-old, barely having a social nightlife, not able to, do a lot of the things that my cohorts were doing or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And just seeing in God being a provider, bro.
Mm.
Like God literally, and it's just like times like these now, I'm remembering, I remember when I had $200 per week on a check, like stretching,
Crazy.
like so like I remember that those times now and I'm able to chill, but God, yeah, that's one thing like to take into this time that God is a provider, bro. That's crazy. I want to hear one of them stories too. If you got a testimony, a story
Oh,
about how God
I
provided.
got a story. I got a story. I won't say her name so people don't blow her up.
Okay.
But I met this one lady. I did a show like last year. Um, Small little show, like 10 people showed up. I was still performing or whatever. And she DMs me after the show. It's like, man, I was about to leave, but I really felt like, I don't know. I felt like when you got on the stage, the atmosphere shifted, kind of. You know what I mean? And from that time up until now, we stayed in contact. She'll comment on my stuff, I comment on her. Like, just staying in touch. So one day, man, I'm over here stressing, applying for jobs, ain't finding nothing, nobody calling. Right, I'm down in the dumps. She DMs me like randomly, like, yo, man, the Lord put you on my heart, bro. What's going on? I feel like something is going on. I'm like, yeah, I got let go. I'm not really working right now. So she DMs me her number. We sit and pray. She gives me some word of encouragement. And right before she leaves to get off the phone, she's like, yo, what's your Cash App? And I was like, huh? Like, what do you need my Cash App
Yeah.
for? And I'm like, brother, don't ask me no questions. Give me your Cash App. I have to be obedient. I'm like, I give her the Cash App. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking she gonna give me like
Five
some like
dollars.
couple $5, a little gas money. This lady, she ends up giving me like $300, bro. Like
Wow.
off the strength, bro. And I was telling my friend, bro,
Wow.
you know how we grew up in church and people will be like, oh, I was in the parking lot one day and I didn't have enough food to eat. Some lady just said, oh, the Lord put you on my heart and give you $100 bill. We listen to that story all the time growing up. We never believed them. Like, something like that ain't
Right.
never going to happen to me. But
Right.
it's like, but to have that happen to me, bro, in the middle, I was literally stressing like 2 hours earlier. And to have this happen, it was like, whoa. It's
Yeah.
something like this has never happened to me. You know what I mean? And at times like this where it's like, man, like it's like the deeper the darkness, the more the light shines. So that's what I'm really finding, bro. It's like when hard times hit, when we in our weakness, that's when he is strong. Like that is not just like words printed on a paper. Like it's real life. Like
Facts.
God comes through in real life.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those stories too. Like I had my old pastor, he mentioned stories about that too, like how like groceries would be left at his door. This is back in
Yeah,
like the 70s and 80s, like people like be paying for his groceries left at the door. I'm like, man, I want that to happen to me. And then like I've had situations, same thing, where people just cash up you randomly. I'm like, bro, like
it's
what did you just cash
crazy.
up me randomly? Or like last year, one really big thing, I don't think I ever talked about it on camera. The Lecrae concert came here, Unashamed tour.
Oh yeah,
When it was on Unashamed tour that came here last year,
true.
and I was working that job making $200 a week, and I was gonna buy the ticket. And that's when you make it $200 a week, $30 is like a big chunk of change out of that
Sheesh.
$200. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get the ticket, and then I was like, you know what? No, God, I'm gonna wait till the next Friday, see if they're still there because I know they're gonna sell out. But I'm gonna wait until the next week. And then as I'm sitting there like on my couch, like just talking to God about the ticket, my homie hits me up. He's like, "Yo, did you get your ticket yet?" I'm like, "Nah, I haven't got my ticket yet. I think I'm gonna wait till next Friday." He's like, "Use my PayPal, go get it for you." I'm like,
Wow.
"Bro, what?" And I'm just sitting there 2 seconds, literally just 2 seconds ago. I'm like, "Bro, like God, I think I'm gonna just wait." And then I broke it down crying like after the fact, bro. So
Oh man.
I've definitely been there, dog. It's
Sheesh.
crazy,
That's beautiful, bro.
bro, for real. So when it comes to rapping, you said you fell in love with rap around 2003, right?
Yeah.
So was it rap first or was it producing that kind of got you in the mix of like making music?
It was definitely rap first. I remember this one time when I was a kid and I was in elementary. I'll never forget it. I was sitting, at the lunch line or whatever, and these three
Mm-hmm.
guys were ahead of me. They were like huddled up, talking about like the hot boys, like or they call like the cash money millionaires and stuff like that. And they was going
Right.
back and forth, like you thought like they was talking about like LeBron or something, like just going passionate. I'm like, yo, me being a kid, I'm like barging, being nosy, like, yeah, what's a hot boy? Like, what's a cash money millionaire? And they all looked at me in unison, like, you don't know who the hot boys are? Like, what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, oh, yeah, I know the cash money million. No, they're not called the cash money million. They're called the hot boys. I'm like, no, yeah, the cash money, like they're not called the, and I just felt like so, I don't know, I just felt like dumb. I felt embarrassed. So it's like ever since that day,
Right.
like I just immersed myself in like hip hop. And the first song that made me want to rap was a song by the Notorious B.I.G. It's called Warning. Like I
Yeah, I know that
I
joint.
remember like my aunt, she bought me like this big old block, this big old radio thing. And I used to like have some headphones on, like the Walkman headphones, and like fall asleep, like all the mixes and stuff. When that song came on, I'm like, yo, what is this? And then, I took a couple of my friends and we just wrote out a rap and repeated it all summer. And ever since then, like I've been rapping, but it wasn't serious. Like it just on and off, like when I was bored.
So you was freestyling? You started first freestyling?
Oh, we used to freestyle here and there, but it was more so writing. You know,
Okay.
I was a trash freestyle back then.
Yeah, I used to rap myself,
Okay.
like for a little bit, but nah, it wasn't on nothing like y'all be doing, bro. Like it was not. I was pursuing it for real, like in college, but then it kind of clicked to a point where I was just like, bro, like it costs how much to mix a song,
Yep.
bro? It costs how much for a beat? And then it's not even. Then the key is I paid $50 for the beat, but I still don't own it. Like it
Yeah.
costs that much for that? Like, are you serious?
Yep.
Nah, I can't do this. I put that away and just really started focusing on media because I'm like, it take too much time and money. That's why I'm like, I really appreciate like the craft of like rapping and the craft of just like doing it because it's like it's a lot of money
Yeah. It's a
for you to
lot.
get 2 listens. Cause I'm like, I'm sitting here in this makeshift studio. I got thousands of dollars equipment, but I get like 5 views on the regular,
Your
bro. So I'm like, I understand
views.
5 views, bro, on a 59-minute video, dog.
Oh man,
Like,
I know the I
bro,
know the pain, bro. I'll be doing my own videos too, and yeah, you put all that work, all that preparation, and like 2 weeks go by, 12 views. I'm like,
yeah,
but it's but
be
it's all
hurt,
about the marathon, man. And that's the one thing
right?
that kept me going. Like you said, like when I first my first song out, like numbers back in like 2017 March. Man, it took me
Mm-hmm.
like 2 months to get 100 plays, bro. Like
Shit.
just struggling on SoundCloud, and now it's like it got to the point where it's like my one of my songs hit like 10,000 like a couple weeks ago. So
Wow.
it's just really like just being consistent. You know what I mean? So even with
Yeah.
you with the content, like yeah, like people not listening now, but it's like give it 5 years, you'll be Joe
Right.
Budden status. You know what I mean? So you never
Shoot,
know.
I receive that because I need that.
tell,
I
tell
need that Joe
Spotify to cut
Budden.
the check.
Cut the check. Spotify, YouTube, all y'all cut the check,
Cut
bro.
the shit out.
So segueing into talking about the mixing and the mastering, talk to me a little bit about like what it's like to be an independent artist in this day and age in 2020?
Man, that is a good question, man. What is it like to be an independent artist in 2020? It's definitely hard and expensive.
Expensive, expensive.
It's very expensive, but I think, man, for the most part, I think it's good because man, you get to own your rights. You know what I mean? I hear so many. So I just heard like an interview with this one dude. He was signed to like some publishing deal, and it was a big publishing deal from an artist we all know, like big time. And he asked him like, "Yo, so how was the experience? Like, what would you tell other artists?" He's like, "I would tell any other artist like, don't sign anything. You know, just keep your rights, keep your keep your legacy because it's like now, like we just spoke like about your stuff. Like, yo, you might put out a podcast video, and right now it's 5 views. You know what I'm saying? But in 5 years, it might be 5 million views. You know what I
Right.
mean? Depending on if you do what you need to do and you keep elevating your brand, it could like content never dies. But if you would have been like, yo, Joe Schmo would have come like, yo, man, I'll get you popping. Like, just give me a percentage. And then when you blow up, it's like you don't really have ownership. You don't have creative control anymore. And you know what I'm saying? You're left to work for another person when these are your creative intellectual property that yet you don't even own. So I feel like, being an independent artist, it has its difficulties sometimes. It's like, mentally you feel like, yo, you don't have what other artists have. It'd be dope to have an entire building work for me. But, I know in the long run, if I keep building, I keep building the blocks that eventually, when I do hit that stride, whatever God decides to elevate me, I know that all the work that I put in will pay off. So, I mean, I think, and also the journey, man. I love the journey, bro. Like, talking to a couple of my friends, it's like, yo, like we gonna look back in like 10 years. Like, you remember when we did that show and only 5 people showed up? Remember when we did that back to school concert and everybody was like eating they jelly rolls and stuff like that. We performing our heart outs in the sun, sweating bullets, and nobody paid attention. Like, you know what I mean? That's the stuff that, we cherish, you know what I'm saying? So I think the journey, man, and just the ownership, those are like the two things that are probably the most beneficial, being independent.
Yeah, when you said content never dies, that blessed me because I need to hear that sometime every now and then. Like I was just talking to my homie about that. It's like, yeah, whenever somebody watches this 5 years from now, that hopefully they'll be blessed by it. But
bro,
content never
not to
dies,
cut
bro.
you
That's so
off, bro.
crazy.
Like, whose story always encourages me? Mike Todd. Mike Todd, he said
Yes.
when he started preaching, he bought like I think $50,000 worth of equipment, and people was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's like, "Yo,
Right. I saw that interview.
God told me to
Yeah.
do it."
Right.
And the relationship goals during the one he blew off of, he did that in like August, and he had been doing like those sermon stuff for years and stuff. It's not until some random lady on Twitter posted up, it goes crazy. People find that, and they found out, hold on, it's 100 other more sermons that we could binge watch. By the time they do that, they support us for life.
Yeah,
So
and
it's like
that's so important to have like your buckets out, and what I'm saying, ready for whenever it rains, bro. Like I remember, like, and that's one of the reasons why I got the cameras and got all this stuff or whatever, knowing I'm like, bro, only 5 people gonna watch this stream, but it's the highest quality I can give you, and if I could start out with the highest quality I could give you, then all I got to really do is work on the content from here on out. So that makes a whole lot of sense,
bro.
dog.
I did all my I just wrapped up my whole vlog series. I did all that on my iPhone. I did all of it on my iPhone, and people was like, "Yo, this is amazing. We want more."
Right.
Yeah.
I remember shooting off the iPad, so I'm like, I know, but see, and that's all you need is an iPhone nowadays. All you need is an iPhone and a tripod.
Just start, bro. Even if you have like a Nokia, like just start, bro. And as you keep going, like you'll build. But like if you just wait and like, oh man, I gotta have a 5D, I gotta have a Premiere Pro, I gotta have the Triton. Like, no, just start, bro. Believe started with 2 cracked iPhones. Do it is on a Dove commercial in front of like CVS, like on a flyer with him and his wife.
Right.
Like,
and it's just being consistent and finding your niche, bro. It's just crazy,
bro.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your album Matters of the Heart. But first, before I say that, yo, this guy right here, his social media presence, his social media rollout for this album. Can we talk about like where you what bag you tapped into? Because I know no other independent artist that has a rollout like you are, with no label, nobody backing them, nothing, and your graphics is, everything is pristine, the promotion is pristine, the countdown rollout is pristine. Like what gave you the drive to want to get to that level? Because it's just like, dude, there's other CHH artists out there that are not doing that. And you know that firsthand. You like, bro, this guy got dope sound. He got a bigger following than me, but he not doing what, you know what I'm saying, what I'm doing in terms of rollout. So where did that come from, bro?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment, man. That means a lot, bro. I say for me, man, it's like whenever I'm passionate about something, is I go all the way in it. Like I study every YouTube video, listen to every podcast, read every single article. So when I finally got the okay from like God to like, yo, this music is something this is what I want you to do. Like, okay, I went all in. Okay, how do I sell merch? Like, what do I do? Like when a song comes out, you know what I mean? So I just went on YouTube. Like, I got to give respect to, Brandman Sean, dude, Curtis
Brandman Sean is dope.
You know what I mean? Right. This guy named Sir Love from Phase 6. In recent years, Ruslan. Like, I just studied these guys, man, and like really studied other artists who had like bigger followings than me, and I just like kind of put my own style into it. And me, it's like you said, bro, like just start. When I first started, like I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I found out that okay, when I did this didn't work, but that worked. So I just like just refined as I kept going up until now. Right. It's like I'm still doing it, but now it's like it's more polished because I had all them years of experience. So yeah, I mean, with the whole promotion, bro, it's like I tell people, bro, if a tree falls down and nobody's here to hear it, like, doesn't make a sound, So you can have a dope song, but it's like if nobody knows that it's coming out, like, you feel me? Like, what's the rate of return? You know what I mean? If I could have the dopest song in the world and I just put it out and it gets 2 views, I can't really get mad because I ain't put the work in. So for me, it's like, man, like nobody's gonna do this but me. You know what I'm saying? I make all of my stuff on this iPhone, this 6S Plus. I don't even have like an 8
I had
or
a 6S
anything.
before. I got a 7 now. We in the same game. I got a 7 now. I had a 6S before it broke. I would have still had my 6S. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I do everything off the iPhone, off of applications. I don't know nothing about Photoshop, no nothing, bro. I just learned, bro, and it's like, yo.
So you're not doing none of this on Photoshop? If somebody joint wasn't on Photoshop?
I do none of this stuff on Photoshop, bro. All of this stuff is free apps that I use, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like if you really want it, if you're really passionate about anything, this don't have to be music, don't have to be media. If you really want something, even if you're writing a book, bro, if you really want it, you'll make a way. Like how many times we was in high school and we wanted a girl and like she told us nah, we like, you gonna find a way, you know what I mean? Or you wanted her number or something. Like anything that you're passionate about, you'll find a way, bro.
Right. Man, I commend you for that, because that's frustrating. That's frustrating as heck, trying to do that off this. Them graphics? No, sir. I need my Photoshop. I need my Photoshop. I got my Photoshop right on the computer. I need my Photoshop. I can't. No, because them joints be looking. I'm like, so did you make the Matters of the hardcover, or somebody else make the Matters of the hardcover?
I made the cover, yeah. Yeah, I made the cover.
You made the cover off the iPhone? God.
I made the cover off the iPhone.
Stop sleeping on Jay Sanon, bro. Stop sleeping on Jay Sanon, dog. You made that off the iPhone? That's the quality, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, it was It was good, man. I shared the first original cover, and it was Boo Boo. So I had to level up. Like, yo, this is my album cover, bro. I can't
So
sidestep
what
on
what
this.
was the inspiration? Like what was it first? What was the inspiration behind the cover, and then the inspiration behind leveling up? So I don't know which one you want to tackle first.
Um, well, the inspiration behind the cover, I knew that, and I'm a little weird with my album making process. Shout out to my guy, just call me DT. He's amazing. We share the same similarity in the fact that I'm a visual person, so I have to see it. So I made the cover before any song was finished. So it's like I knew that, okay, I know I want to tackle relationships. I know I want to talk about different situations with romantic situations in my life. So I was like, dang, like what is this gonna be about? And I'm like, okay. I originally wanted to come out on Valentine's Day, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Valentine's Day hearts, that's too generic. I'm like, okay, teddy bear. I'm like, let's do the teddy bear. And I like the solid gray background. I like all my stuff to be simplistic but like impactful. I don't like have a lot of stuff going on. So I just did it, and it just came out dope. And it's not until after I finished it, I was like, you know what? This kind of looks like the 808s and Heartbreaks cover. And I was like, oh,
Right.
I did not know that. That was not an inspiration. That was
Whatever the
just
texture was, bro. That's how I was like, what? Because I need you to tell me that off camera. You don't got to tell them on camera. I need to know what texture that was
right,
on that
right,
teddy bear.
right.
Cause that kaleidoscope type joint. I need to know that. I need to find that out. I need to use that on something.
Got you,
But
got you.
bruh. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm kind of like that too. I was kind of like that when I was still rapping. I would write the songs first, or when I used to do poetry, I used to write the titles first before I actually started to do it. So I get what you're saying about visualizing it. I'm the same way.
Mm, no, that's
So,
dope.
what's your biggest inspiration when it comes to an artist? So, biggest inspiration in music.
Like artists
I
I'm
know the first
influenced
one you're
by.
gonna say. Yeah, who are you inspired by? I know the first one you're gonna say.
Well, everybody knows I love Jay-Z.
No, I thought I was gonna say homegirl Brandy first.
Oh
Okay, Jay
yeah,
Z.
yeah, 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 yeah. My wife. Yeah, shout out to my wife. Wifey, man. I'm definitely inspired by wifey, man. Nah, I love Brandy, man. R&B wise, but yeah, I mean, definitely, Drake, J. Cole, Nas, inspired by Biggie, of course. Um, yeah, that would be it. That would be it. A little bit of Wayne here and there, but
Okay.
yeah, those are the people I'm mostly inspired by.
So would you characterize your sound around boom bap or is this every boom bap, trap rap, anything? Because those artists you name, they scale all the different categories. So
Yeah,
do you feel yeah.
I
How
I
do you
I,
feel?
I definitely wouldn't call myself boom bap. No disrespect to anyone who makes boom bap, but I'm like,
Right.
I do not make boom bap.
Yeah.
I just not to be so artsy with. I feel like I just make soul music, man. I mean, my music is really bit on the chill side. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I do have like aggressive songs, like a Never Die or like a MF
Mm,
Reprise and stuff like that. But I would say it's more so on the chill side. You know what I'm saying? I don't really necessarily make trap music. I use trap elements, of course. Like I'm from the South, so of course it's always gonna be 808s and trap drums always.
right. Always.
Oh, but yeah, man, it's a good blend. I blend between the two worlds.
So how would you describe the music that you create? If you can give me one word to describe the music you create or the message that your music sends, what would it be?
I have three: um, vulnerability, relatability, and soulful.
Okay.
Basically, it's yeah, like super transparent. It's not a lot of stuff like going on. It's super like direct
Hmm.
to the point, and it's honest and it connects. So that's how I would describe it.
And I think vulnerability is like very important when it comes to any type of art form. That's why like I
Absolutely.
pride myself on with this content stuff is like being transparent because I think people feel you like the quickest way, I'm not gonna say the quickest way to like rise to fame, but like the quickest way to get people to feel you is by you being real. I think
Yeah.
right. I one thing I've been noticing too is like back in the day, maybe you can attest to this. Back in the day when we were coming up as people were artists or creatives, it really you saw a lot of a rise from like nothing to something in terms of trash quality to fire quality. And
Yep,
nowadays,
yep.
when it comes to independent artists, you're seeing these independent artists put their best foot forward from beginning to end. You don't see trash videos from these independent artists. Granted, they don't need a lot. Simplicity is everything right nowadays. But they don't need a lot. But you're literally seeing these independent artists start with the HD videos and the 1080 HP, and it's all like the
Mm-hmm.
theme for the video and everything nowadays. But then back in the day, it was off the iPad or off of these little phony little cameras, and it was bad quality. So could you attest to
Yeah.
that a little bit, like how the rise is like totally different for independent artists nowadays?
Yeah. It's definitely different now because like I mean we have phones that shoot in 4K. Like that's
Yeah,
wild. What I mean, so the quality is definitely increased. What I mean, even with recording, like you would record like off an inbox that was like this big, and like the quality would be like
I
super
had an
trash. You
inbox.
know, there you
Yeah, I had an
go.
inbox.
So I had an inbox starting early out when I first started
Yeah,
recording. Yeah, I definitely had the inbox, and whew, yeah, it was a struggle. But now it's like my studio equipment. It's not even that expensive, and I'm still able to have the quality that can compete with anybody. For like less than I would have spent.
right.
So yeah, it's definitely been a progression for sure.
So if there's one thing you could change about the music industry, what would it be?
Oh, one thing I would change about the music
Besides
industry.
getting discovered quickly.
That's Oh yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Um, dang, bro. One thing I would change about the music industry. Probably just the probably just the fake relationships,
Mm,
or like just the snakes in the music industry. There's a lot of people that say one thing, but they actually do the
right.
opposite. You know, like integrity is a very, very rare thing. It's an oxymoron, especially within the industry. So that's probably one thing I would change. Like just separate the real from the fakes, and just let only genuine people who actually have genuine intentions in. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I would definitely change that.
Think for me, besides the fake relationships, I think one thing that I would change about the industry is just the underhanded practices from the labels. Like I feel like there was a
Oh yeah,
time
yeah.
when the labels were honest with you.
Mm,
Maybe not, maybe somebody out there can attest to differently, maybe they've never been honest, but I think there was a time when there was honest business practices. So I think that would be one thing I would change, is just like if we can get back to honest business practices, like not intentionally roping artists in 360 deals or deals
hmm.
that won't benefit them in the long run just to get them signed so they can get a $50,000 advance and shine or
True.
whatever like that. So I think that would be one for me.
That's a good one.
So if you weren't following the dreams of becoming or being Jay Sanon right now, hottest Miami artist ever, what would
Chill.
you be doing? If you were not following your dreams right now being an artist, what would you be doing?
Man, if I wasn't being an artist, man, I know I'd be doing something entrepreneurial. I know I'd be like into like real estate and stuff
Okay.
like that, which I'm still trying to be in. I'll probably just probably just start a nonprofit, or like be somewhere within the mental health
Okay.
field. That's something that I'm very passionate about. And yeah, so I'll probably just be an advocate for something involving like mental health.
So could you kind of touch on a little bit, because I'm like I didn't know that when it comes to mental health you're kind of passionate about that. Could you talk about how you deal with your mental health as an artist? Like how we were talking about, before, 5 views, 10 views, you put 2 hours worth of work,
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
shut down, and then you had to cut it back on and then
Oh
redo it
yeah.
or whatever just to get 5 or 10 views or nobody to immediately like your post. So could you kind of talk about your mental health or how you deal with those things as an artist?
That happened to me yesterday. It happened to me yesterday. I mean, yeah, for anybody who's listening, I do have a case of anxiety.
Okay.
So I'm very like I deal with anxiety, definitely. But like, yeah, being an artist, man, is definitely tough, man. On the mental, because like you said, bro, like you put your all into something. I remember I put like one piece of like content out is to promote like a single I got coming out, shameless plug.
Plug.
And it came out and it only got like a couple views, like only like 2 likes. I'm like, bro, I put everything into this. And I'm like, man, whatever, nobody cares about me. I'm whack.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening. And then you cry in a little corner. And then, you realize that, okay, I'm tripping. I'm in my feelings right now. but it is difficult, man. You definitely deal with comparison, dealing with your numbers. It could be a very discouraging
I wish I could
thing.
turn them off.
And for me, yeah, bro, I wish you could just
Till I
turn
get to
them
a million.
off. And
That's
like
when I get to 100,000 subscribers, turn my likes and my numbers back on.
until you get 1 million, that's
Yeah.
when everybody can see your
Right.
likes and stuff like that. But no, it's very difficult. And for me, sometimes some days are better than others. But what helps me is like really just just praying and just seeking after God and like really just being in the Word, man. Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart. It's like my life scripture, So every single time I feel like, man, nobody's really listening. I'm not making an impact. I'll just be like, man, God, I trust in you. I know if I acknowledge you, you'll make my path straight. It's not about numbers. It's about like the people I'm impacting. Cause God, I say this all the time. Like when I get to heaven and I face judgment, God is going to be like, yo, Spotify, but your Spotify numbers were popping though. Like, what I mean? Like he's not going to care any about that. It's like, man, who did you impact? Like, who did you tell about me?
Right.
Like, what legacy did I leave
Right.
behind? So that's been more important to me. But yeah, I mean, mental health is real, man, for any creator. I'm pretty sure like you put out stuff and you see other people who are like in your category and it's like, man, I'm way nicer than him, man. Like,
Facts.
and then they get all the views and it can dawn on you, man. But you really just have to be like consistent and just go before God and like let him validate.
I constantly have to like reevaluate what I'm trying to do. Like every couple of weeks, I get up in the morning and I'm like, okay, what am I trying to do? Because sometimes I often feel like I lose focus when it comes to like whatever I'm trying to do. Like, okay, things get foggy and I'm like, I have to remind myself by getting refocused, like, okay, I'm trying to do this. This is the 5-year plan. This. I want that. Okay, this is where we're going, and kind of in doing that, that's what kind of helps me when I get to those moments where I'm just like, bro, why ain't nobody looking at these videos, bro? This is an hour, 30-minute video, dog. Like I put mad work into this, guy. Like where the views at, you know what I'm saying? And I often have to remember, I'm like, okay, I have to be consistent. It's like something in the earth where you got to be consistent for a long time before people actually pay attention to you. I don't know what it is, but it's something in the earth where it's just like they're not gonna pay attention to you until you consistent.
Yeah, but it's better that way, bro. Like one of the quotes I live by, bro, is like, bro, slow growth.
Dang. Can't even remember it.
How'd it go? Dang, I'm gonna butcher. No. It says slow growth builds character, fast growth builds ego.
Okay.
Like think about like the people who blew up overnight, like the Little Nas X's, like just put out a song and it's like the biggest song of like the decade, but like a year later, where is he at now? We don't know where he's at now. He's probably still trying to make the 500th remix of Old Town Road. He's still trying to live off of his wins yesterday. But it's like, man, like I learned from myself. Like me, I started off with like a SoundCloud joint that took 2 months. to you know what I mean, get 100 plays. Now when I put a song out, I could average 1,000 like in 2 weeks or something. Like, you know what I mean? But that came from that consistent work. You know, it's within that consistent work you find the tools that don't work and you become Teflon. Like, bro, like I kid you not, bro. Like this one dude and my homeboy, he's cool with him. This big executive in CHH, bro. Like I texted him like I DM'd him, I sent him a DM, like I made sure I made I put thought into this question. Like it's not no like yes or no question. Like, it's gonna have to like warrant a response. I sent it to him. I checked it in right now. He left me on scene. You know what I mean? But I love it though because like I know if I keep doing my job, I'm gonna be talking to him on a regular basis, so it doesn't.
I'm a name
matter.
drop the person that left
You know
me
what I'm
on
saying?
scene. What's his name? Paris. My favorite. He's my favorite rapper in the world, and I DM'd him for an interview, and he left me on scene. I said, "Okay, bet." And I'm like, I was talking to my homie. I was like, "Bruh," I'm like, "Should I ignore him once I get popping?" And he's like, "Nah, bro. Like, you should still DM him." But I'm like, that's one thing I have to realize when it comes to like doing this media stuff. They don't respect you till you BET or MTV or you have some type of big platform, or maybe they just he just didn't want to do that. But I know a lot of times when it comes to trying to interview artists, if they don't see MTV or BET in the tagline, or they don't know your traction, they don't know how much traffic you getting off rip, they're not gonna respect you enough to respond like off the rip. But it may take a couple months for them to respond back. But yeah, man, I grinding my gears. I'm like, man, should I? Man, I was talking to him. I'm like, bro, should I ignore him once I get big? Like, cause I'm like, I,
that's definitely the temptation, man. Because nobody cares until everybody cares. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying. I bet like watch you like you get an interview with I don't know like with Kanye or something, and your thing blows up. But he don't want to interview with you now. But I feel like man, it's stuff like that, man. We just gotta let it. I'm talking to myself. You just gotta let it build your character, bro. Because eventually, like you'll be seeing them on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? As long as you do what you have to do, you put the work in, you study. You know what I mean? You find out, you know, what your videos are, what people like. Yeah, you'll be talking to Paris like every day, probably. You know what I mean? He'll probably DM you your number. I mean his number. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. So segueing, if you could be quarantined with any two artists, what would those two artists be?
The other person will probably be Jay-Z, man. Probably I need some wisdom, man. You give me some wisdom on how you built this empire, man.
You said you need some wisdom.
I need some wisdom, man. Give me them game. I need them keys, man. So yeah, I would definitely be quarantined with Brandy because you know, one it's one of my bucket lists to make a song with her, and you know she's definitely wise. So you know, definitely get her wisdom as far as like in the music industry, and with Jay, you know, obviously one of my favorite rappers ever, and you know, wise, you know, wisdom. You know what I'm saying as far as business and entrepreneurship goes. So those would definitely be the
What's
two.
your favorite Brandy song? What's your favorite Jay-Z song?
Oh my God, don't do that to me. Oh my God. My
Mine is "I Want to
favorite.
Be Down." I did a poem in college all based off of that song, and I can't even find it
Oh,
nowhere. But "Want to Be
no,
Down"
that's
is like,
dope. I Want to
yeah,
Be Down is classic, bro. I would say probably my favorite Brandy song is probably this song called Best Friends.
okay.
It's off of her first album. I remember when I first heard it, I'm like, yo, what the heck is this? Jay-Z song, man, it's too many, bro.
His catalog.
It's whatever I feel like today. I would probably say today it'd probably be dang, probably be Dead Presidents.
Okay.
Probably be Dead Presidents.
Yeah, Dead Presidents, Politics as Usual is another
Oh
one for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Classic, Reasonable Doubt, classic.
Yeah. So I want you to talk about your single "Never Die."
Yep.
Talk about the process behind that and the purpose of that record.
Yeah, man. So the process behind it, man, I just came from a super bad breakup, the worst breakup of my entire life. Super depressed, barely working at my job, unemployed, broke, feeling like a failure. I remember that day I recorded it too. I did this one song first. It was super dark and depressing, basically talking about everything I just described. And then I got the beat from my guy, Dream 86, who's a producer I work with, and it started playing. And I'm like, man, you know what? Like, nah, I'm not gonna let this thing beat me. Like, forget this. Like, nah, man.
Right.
It tried to kill me, but I never. That was like literally the first words I heard.
Okay. Wow.
When I heard that, but like, they tried to kill me, but I never died. You know what I mean? I wrote the whole song in one day. Basically, what it communicates, man, is that, man, like, no matter what I'm going through, like, yes, what I'm currently going through, is tough. It looks very bad. Like, it doesn't look like I'm gonna make it out of this. But yo, like, by the grace of God, man, I'm gonna endure this situation, and I'm gonna come better on the other side of this situation. I'm not gonna let this situation get the best of me. I'm gonna learn what I need to learn from it, and I'm gonna kill this thing. And like all these people that try to come against me, fear, anxiety, stuff, try to attack my mental health, like all of it, they tried to kill me, but it'll never prosper. Like, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, man. And that's really like the basis of the song. It's mad aggressive. It's mad, like,
I love it.
It's battle music, man.
That and is it that and Nobody are my favorite.
Oh yeah, Nobody. Yeah. Which is basically the same thing, man.
Right.
Like nobody. They ask who can come and stop me. Tell them nobody.
Right.
Nobody can stop you but yourself.
Facts.
Basically.
So I'm gonna get into this segment. It's one of my favorite segments when I do interviews to see if you know your own lyrics.
Ooh, let's go.
See if you know your own lyrics. Which you probably
let's go.
Which you probably will. I'm gonna say the lyric, and then you have to explain the lyric. You have to tell me the song name, and then you have to explain the lyric to me.
This is fun. Let's do it.
All right. So first is Never Been a Star. Used to never have a car. Sitting at the bus stop with that ugly uniform. Explain that. What song is that?
Oh yeah, that's Nobody. It's the first verse. Yeah, man. I was high school. Like, shout out to my cousin Natasha, bro. Yeah, I remember when I first. No, that was high school. Yeah, high school. Yeah. So yeah, we would just, like, we have no car. Like, we just ride on the bus. I remember my first day of high school. Fresh uniform, fresh Nikes. Begged my mom for some Nikes. We used to shop at Payless all the time. It was the first time getting some name brand shoes. I remember it was kind of rainy, and there's like this huge puddle. Just walked up to the bus stop. 5 minutes later, this car just pulls up speeding, and then all
like the movies?
Stuff just, like, in slow motion, bro. Like
the movies, though? That's crazy, bro.
My whole shirt is dirty. All my stuff is wet. And yeah, man, I mean, that line is basically like just showing the come up, man. Like, remember days when I didn't even have a car. You know what I mean? I was just thugging it out, like trying to get to school. You know what I mean? Never really was like the most popular guy. Like,
same.
I was just me. You know what I mean?
Same.
The person I am now is just, person I just came to be.
So second, and this is off of you know this. My people want what they can't afford and wonder why we in debt when we growing old.
Oh yeah, never die. People want what they can't afford, and yeah, whatever you said last. I
can't remember. That's why I do it, because I want to see y'all know y'all records.
No, my people want what they can't afford and wonder why we all in debt when we growing old. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, definitely. I've been, financial literacy is something that I'm very passionate about as well. Something that I've gotten into, like, in my latter years. Yeah, bro. I mean, we want what we can afford. I was just having a conversation with one of my best friends, bro. I read an article about the whole stimulus check, and saw that, like, Walmart and, like, Target sales went up because people were taking their stimulus check and buying TVs and buying iPhones and buying electronics and stuff. I'm like, yo, I remember, like, walking up to my building, like, probably 2 days after everybody got sent their check or whatever, and I'm seeing, like,
I still haven't got
my hallway. Oh, you still haven't got yours? Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Did you do your taxes?
Yeah. And I said, went to the website and everything, and it just says payment status not available. And then I was like, bro, what? That don't make no sense. I pay my taxes, but
Oh, dang,
I
that's
ain't even
crazy. Because,
tripping,
well,
bro.
I mean, hey, God is your provider, man. It'll come through when it needs to come through. You know what I'm saying? But now I was going on down the hallway and I see like these boxes of empty like flat screens. I'm like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It's like us as a people, man. Like we have such a negative like relationship with money. We have such a scarce thing. It's like we get it, we just automatically gotta blow it. Like
Yeah,
it's
you
just
hit
like
that on the
this
head.
addiction. You know what I'm saying? It's like we wonder. It's like, yo, why are we living paycheck to paycheck? You know what I'm saying? Wonder
Mm-hmm.
why. I even heard a story. This one dude, he was getting $60,000 a year, still living off paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Making more than like half of Americans, white
Yeah.
or black. You know what I'm saying? Still living paycheck to paycheck because it's a mentality. But when I read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and
Hmm.
listen to like the Earn Your Leisure podcast, and like
Love them. Shout out
just
EYL.
yeah, shout out UIL, man, Troy and Rashad, and just the stuff like that, man. It just really makes me passionate, and yeah, man, it's something that I really wanted to address, and I want to see our people do better.
So, lastly, I need you to explain to me the reasoning, or just not, I don't know if it's an obsession, but the reasoning behind 557. Explain to me the reasoning behind that. When I see it at 5:57 p.m.,
Oh
5:57
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So explain that to the people.
Oh, 5:57 in the morning. Really, bro, like it came right around like so like we said earlier, 2017 is always the year I started taking music seriously, and that was the time I started putting out my initial singles. So 5:57, one of my most popular singles. That was the one that hit like 10,000 a few weeks ago. Um, really, bro, it's really just there's no deep analysis. Like, bro, I was literally at my old job, and the hook just came to me like 5:57 in the morning. I'm like, oh snap! Like, what is this? So I just recorded like a little voice note. Eventually found a beat that matched it. Wrote the song, and basically, the whole song is basically about, man, just pursuing your goals, man, and just doing whatever it takes and making no excuse. Is really just a song like to combat laziness, because I can be like super lazy at times.
Okay.
Where it's like I'll
Word.
be waking up and my alarm clock is like like whatever. I just hit the snooze button or whatever.
Right.
But it's kind of like, like get up at 5:57. Your alarm clock is at 6. Get up earlier than your alarm clock and like
Ah,
pursue you know what I mean? Pursue your dreams, bro. Like don't wait for the next opportunity. Like create the next opportunity yourself.
I like
So
that.
that's basically what the whole song is about. And people just I still get people to this day DM me like, yo, 5:57. So it's good. It's good when like your thing is like a timestamp. So like I know when to put out content. Yo, this comes out 5:57 p.m. It's just a thing that get my fans excited and
Okay.
stuff. So
That's good, bro. I never thought about that. Like you getting up earlier than your alarm clock, and the symbolism behind that is dope. I like that. That's dope. You
appreciate it.
definitely should push that, because that's some ET stuff. That's some ET stuff. So you should definitely push that.
Shout out to the great Eric Thomas.
For real, for real. So what's next for you? With everything going on in 2020, are we getting a quarantine album coming soon? Like, what you doing?
Quarantine album, nah, man. Album is definitely coming, but it's coming next year. That's an
Okay.
exclusive. I haven't announced that at all just yet. So
Exclusives.
Drew got the exclusive. But for me, man, I gotta, depending on like when you hear this, I've got a new single out with my sister Brie K. Somebody remix from the first album. We just did a remix, whole different beat, different chorus,
Word.
better feel, so that's out. And really just putting out different singles, trying to put different visuals out there. We'll see how we do that with everything that's going on. But yeah, man, just being consistent with content. I've really doubled down on like my YouTube, put out, a whole vlog series, 1 to 10 episodes. The first season to connect with me, it's on my YouTube.
Yeah, you've been
Um,
working.
yeah, man, trying to put in the work, man. Been doing like my short podcast series, Conversations That Matter. So it was just like this celebrating the 1 year anniversary of my album, where I took different people who worked on the album. We had like different conversations about the behind the scenes of it. We talk about like different topics surrounding it. It's been super
His content
powerful.
game is crazy, y'all. For an
Yeah,
artist,
yeah, man.
bro. You talk about me with Joe Budden, you got a future, bro. Like if you ever want to start rapping, bro, like you definitely got a career in media, bro. And I mean that. That's no cap. You definitely got a
Hey,
career in media, dog.
hey, bro, from your mouth to God's ears, man. We'll see, man. But yeah, man, just more content, man. Songs, vlogs, you know, Instagram posts, like whatever, man. Just expect more content from me.
Okay, word. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, bro. This was this is the first episode of Tapped In at Home. With my
Ooh.
guest Jay Sanon. I appreciate you guys for watching and joining. Jay, if you can give your Instagram, all your social media handles, and where we can check you out at, and I'm gonna send you off.
Sure, sure. You can find me on all things Jay Sanon, JaySanon. That's Facebook, that's Twitter. I'm not on Black Planet, unfortunately. But you can hit me on there. You can DM me. You can go to jaysanon.com, join my email list. You get exclusive content before it comes out. And yeah, man, connect with me. I connect with you guys. Love talking to supporters. And if you have anything that you want to talk to me that you heard on the show, and yeah, I'd be love to talk to y'all. I love to talk to y'all. So yeah, man, that's where you can find me.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Like I said, this is another episode of Tapped In. My name is Drew Muzon. This is Jay Sanon. Until next time, peace out.